Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be slightly different because you get to see my beautiful ugly face. Yeah, this actually was supposed to have a lot more people on it, this video especially because I had a lot of cool people who were in line with doing this, but unfortunately time clashes and there was a lot of work schedule things that kind of came up, so unfortunately I couldn't have them on. But for now we're going to be focusing on the roster moves that have been happening across the VCT world, which have been absolutely crazy, especially the Pacific, because my god, the rumors are insane. The signings that we've already seen in terms of reports that have come out have been also crazy. Let's just dive in. Now the first thing is, let's have a look at Flynn's infamous Excel sheet, because this is what is the reference that I'm going to be using for my information, which is absolutely amazing. If you are not someone who's seen Flynn sheet, you're living under a rock, because if you're following VCT and if you don't know Flynn, go ahead and follow him and check him out on Twitter because he's doing an amazing job. Now, having a look at Flynn sheet, we can see that, if you look at the Pacific side, right? Okay, actually, if you look at the America side, there's a lot of green around, right? Almost every team, they're slowly making their moves. There's not much, although there's a lot of rumors happening there. And even the EMEA, there's a little bit of discoloration in the terms of colors, there's not too much green. It's just about the right amount. But if you look at the Pacific, well, there's a lot of teams that have their green colors removed. There's a lot of chaos ensuing everywhere, most of it happening across teams that are looking for a complete overhaul of their roster. So we're going to be looking at what exactly it is. Starting off, let's go with Talon Esports, who very recently, just an hour before recording this, have released 3 of their squad members. Zeus, their head coach, Sushi Boys and Foxes have officially been released from Talon, and it is something that came as a surprise because till now Talon were very quiet. They had made no moves, they had made no rumors, there was nothing around Talon at all, completely zero. So we didn't have any clue as to what's happening with them. But now it seems like they're going for a complete overhaul with the release of their coach as well. They still of course have 3 players left in their squad. They've got Pattyfan still there, they've got Jit Boys and Garnets, and of course Cruise as well, because Talon was a 6-man squad, forgive me, 4 players. Cruise of course, their IGL still there, and it's a pretty decent squad, it's a pretty decent squad. But the problem with Talon is that they were really having problems with the consistency. They kind of maybe had ideas that were way too out of the box. They were the ones who came on with that triple duelist, if you guys would remember, on Split.
Talon has already shown a lot of very fun and creative moments here coming into this.
Oh
my
baby,
god, it's
the
happening.
Fox Yoru is back, and it's triple duelistic. We've been seeing teams pick Split. They've been playing double controllers. What we haven't seen so far is quite literally triple duelist.
Wow. Okay,
Triple?
we all
that they played, I believe, during the VCT regular season. They were the ones who came up with that, and they absolutely got destroyed. So yeah, Talon making this move, I think it's really good for them, because I think they really need an overhaul from when they've had this roster for a very long time. Even before the Pacific League, Talon had the same roster, just maybe 1 or 2 additions or removals, that's it. But with this change, I believe that Talon are going to look at a huge overhaul. I'm not quite sure which players are linked as of right now. As my information, no players have been linked with Talon per se, but I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing. Let's have a look at DRX. Of course, DRX is a squad I don't need to mention at all. DRX is going to be remaining the exact same as it is. I believe that everybody in that squad should be there where they are, because they are the Korean team of the world. They are known as the best a Pacific team, and I mean, of course, until PaperX absolutely demolished them in the finals of the VCT Pacific League. And now it is, of course, for them to show what this roster can do with its longevity, right? DRX kind of became, I would say, an overcooked team where they were kind of trying to stick to their roots. Maybe, hopefully, with the roster, they're trying to innovate more now, because DRX have a very strict, disciplined style of play, which helped them for quite some time, but not for too long, it seemed. We've got DRX remaining practically the same that they are. I don't think there's going to be any changes per se for anybody in that roster. Now let's move on to a team that recently made its jump to the VCT Pacific League. Bleed Esports, an absolute powerhouse of a team who just dominated the entire Ascension Pacific scene. Tier 2 was all theirs to be taken. And deservedly, they won it as well. Now, of course, we know the biggest news that came out of Bleed was, pretty obvious that Juicy, who's their, prodigious duelist, cannot participate in the VCT Pacific League due to his age. He is still too young to be able to be a part of this league. Unfortunately, it's very heartbreaking to see, but he will be back soon enough, hopefully, after he's completed his national service as well, as soon as he's done with growing up as the adult that needs to be valid, I would say, to play in the VCT Pacific League. But on the other hand, we can see that Bleed has a move connected to Aspas. Now that is absolutely insane if it happens, because if Aspas makes a move halfway across the world to join Bleed, a team which has pretty great players, I'm not gonna lie, because Scary is one of the best controllers we've seen from the Pacific, Crazy Guy is a beautiful IGL, and Darion is also an amazing duelist slash sentinel who is able to change up his roles. It's a really stacked up team, right? And of course, being led by Legia, the CSGO legend, coaching them for about 2 years. He's coming up to 2 years, I believe now. He's done a great job at directing this team in the way that they have, and come all the way to the VCT Pacific now. And they're also having Egoist maybe join their squad, who's likely to maybe join it. Of course, we had a little bit of a unlikely situation in Aspas, because as you can see, he's marked orange. He's got the U next to him, which is unlikely. But if this happens, this is going to be a really amazing move for Bleed, because if any team can actually make this happen, it is the craziness of Bleed. Because if you follow that team, that organization, you know that they can make this happen. I hope it happens, because it's going to be absolutely chaos to throw, onto the Pacific scene. Imagine Aspas coming all the way across the world here. Crazy. But if Aspas doesn't occur, I think the one duelist, if they really need a straight up duelist who they can use, would probably be Texture. And why I say Texture, because he's not just now a duelist, he's extremely versatile. He's learned to play multiple roles. He's great on that Killjoy. He knows how to play the Raze, the Jet, the Reyna. He plays everything. Texture's a really good replacement, because as you can see on the sheet as well, Texture is currently a player who's on the fence for Global Esports, and that's the next team I'm going to go to, because the absolute chaos, the team for my country, is in absolute shambles in terms of who's staying and who's not, right? So the problem with Global Esports is that if they lose out on Texture, they've already lost out on Monnier, because as we saw that Monnier has been signed by PaperX. It's most likely happening. It's probably done. It's signed. It's just about, we're just waiting for the official announcement at this point. If he's already gone, and we're getting Blaziking from Boom Esports, who's the possible rumor to replace our man Monnier on Global Esports, which I'm not sure if that's the greatest move, because Monnier, of course, is an absolute beast. Blaziking, yes, he's really good on his days, but he's yet to be able to perform at the level I believe that these players are on. He's done really great, no discredit to him, but I believe that this should be a move that is coordinated with the entire team. I think Blaziking individually is a good player, but if he's given a good team around him, I think he can do even more better and maybe come up to the level of Monnier. As far as I mentioned, Texture, yeah, he would be a great fit at Bleed if at all he does go there. I think that, because Bleed are a squad, if you look at it right now, they've got 6 different nationalities for 6 different people on their squad, even the coach and analyst combined. And if you add in a Korean powerhouse over there, such as Texture, it's just gonna, blow up the squad even more. On the other side of the same coin, we've got SK Rossi, who is very likely to be leaving. The Pride of India, unfortunately, could not step up to his best in the VCT Pacific League. He just could not give the performance that we were hoping for him to give, and he might be already on the way. As you can see, it's less than a 10% chance that he's probably going to stay on this roster. He might be put onto the inactive side. Maybe he could be put onto the side where Lightning Fast could step in for his place, because Lightning Fast Fast has a lot more of variety available to his agent pool. He's extremely talented in terms of his aim as well. He can play the secondary duelist, he can play the secondary controller, he's played the secondary initiator as well, and he's good with the sentinels. He knows how to play the Cypher and the Killjoy. I believe Lightning Fast deserves a chance to play as a regular for Global Esports this season, but we will see how that pans out. Aaron has also left Global Esports as the time of recording this. He is no longer with this Global Esports squad, and now the space for the IGL has been left far and wide open, and it's going to be really interesting. While it looks like Global Esports' entire roster is going to be going through an overhaul, the coaching staff is going to remain. We've got Blazer King as the only confirmation there. We are not sure whether the other players are going to be there. I hope Lightning Fast continues to be there. But if there's players that I think they could use, I believe Benkai from Paper X would actually do really well. I think him as the IGL, he'd bring in absolutely crazy ideas. I think that Benkai's experience and his achievements in the past has proven to be really good. But he's of course got his own very aggressive style. He loves going absolutely crazy with his team. I'm not quite sure if Global Esports' players would be up for that. It's going to take a lot of settling time to make that happen. But I believe if Benkai is brought in, I think because he's got a rich experience with the Pacific teams, I think he could do really well at Global Esports. But unfortunately, I am not quite sure if that's going to be happening. If Zelsis does come here, my god, that's going to be absolutely insane. But so far, Global Esports, absolute chaos. Not sure what's going to happen. We'll find out soon enough, because as of right now, no official announcements whatsoever about anyone leaving except for Aaron or anyone staying. So yeah. Next up, let's head to Paper X themselves. Of course, the Pacific champions, second in the Valorant champions as well. Heartbreaking loss for them. I love these boys, but they just couldn't make it over the finish line, and Jing's final match just wasn't what we expected it to be. But either way, with him leaving, Monier's replacement as being the only addition to this team is, I believe, absolutely amazing, because Monier deserves this spot on Paper X, one of the best teams in the world. I think he's proven himself to be one of the best players in the world. His versatility to come into a team where he came in as a jet main and he transformed himself to play the controller. He played the Omen, he played the Astra. Absolutely insanity. I think he is the right fit for this team. If this move is completely happened, he is the right fit, and I think he would fit right into this squad. And I believe that Paper X have another great season up ahead of them. Now coming to the team that actually has absolutely torn through their Valorant squad. Two teams actually. One is Detonation and the other one is GenG. Now if you look at GenG here, they've got two people left on their roster. One is Meteor, who's likely to stay, and Lakia is the other one who could be staying, who is of course the Detonation player. Right now, I'm not sure what GenG are up to. They've completely thrown out their entire squad. They've left one player who they want to build around. I believe Meteor has been really great for GenG in the VCT Pacific League. But GenG need to find a mix of players who could potentially have a star-studded player, a superstar in them as well. Now, who could be a part of this? I believe they could pick up some of the Japanese talent. I think that they would do really well. I think they would be really well off if they pick up a player maybe from the Zeta Division team who are currently up for sale. I think GenG would do really well with maybe a couple of these Japanese players. I think 10 and Sugar Zero are really great, and I think that these two players deserve to be continuing to play at the highest level possible. I'm not quite sure if Detonation is looking at that kind of opportunity, because they of course are the other Japanese squad in this league. But I believe GenG, even though they've got the overhaul, I think Sugar Zero and 10 are somebody who could really do well with Meteor, because their support system is really good. I think that this could be a new face of GenG that they could try to maybe work around. I'm not quite sure what exactly has been linked, because so far as of what I know, GenG haven't been linked with any players as such. It's still unfolding as we do talk about it. But overall, GenG and Detonation have put up their entire rosters for complete overhaul, and Detonation also, I think they deserve to have a complete overhaul, complete change, because their roster was by far the worst in the VCT Pacific League last season. They couldn't manage to get a single win. It was really difficult for them, and yeah, they are looking at allow Estrel. As you can see, it's a possibility that they still stay on that option, because they are pretty good players, of course. But if Detonation want to start competing at a much better level, I think that they might have to change everything, just like GenG are. I think they need a complete overhaul, maybe a mix-up of players of different regions. Get in a couple from maybe Global Esports. They could pick up Bazzi, who's doing really well. If Aaron is still looking, I don't think he is, but if Aaron is still looking to stay in the Pacific region, he could be a great pickup for GenG particularly as well. But yeah, Detonation GenG, as of right now, no real rumors as to who could be going where, but so far looks like they are going to be the focus of attraction, because an entire roster change is going to be a very long process for them. The Zeta division, of course, again, like I mentioned, completely up for sale. And at the same time, they're looking for an interpreter as well, which they put up on their Twitter, which means that they're looking for somebody to maybe be an interpreter between the players and the coaching staff. Maybe a coach who they're getting from, the other regions, maybe an English coach, maybe somebody from, Korea. I'm not quite sure who they're going to be getting. But either way, the Zeta division are in a good position to look at a complete change up. They've had this roster since that infamous run that they made at Valorant Masters. But yeah, I think Zeta division is going to be getting rid of quite a few of these members of their squad, and finding a whole new set of players, which would be really good for their upcoming season. Now, in between all of this, of course, we've got T1 and RRQ and Team Secret. Team Secret have pretty much got everybody still there. Jesse Wash is going to stay there. Invi, Bochum, Jeremy are looking to stay right there. They've only had the one change, that is Warbird, who's left, the head coach of Team Secret, who honestly is a really great coach in my opinion. I'm not quite sure what that move was, but he has left the squad. We'll see who the replacement is going to be, but Warbirds definitely deserves to be on a tier 1 squad. Let's see where he moves. On the other side, they also have gotten rid of Dubstep and Lenny, who are not going to be part of this squad anymore. And of course, Clear as well, a great player. But where these players are going to be fitting in, I think that GenG could be a place where they could fit in. I believe that RRQ might be looking at this, because of course, RRQ, they love their Filipino and Indonesian players, and of course they are currently in the process of rebuild themselves. They've said goodbye to Eman, who has left the squad just a couple of hours before the recording of this video. And we've also got the rest of the squad. As you can see, they have question marks all over them, because they're not sure about whether they're staying or not. Only the head coach Evok has been situated there as the probably confirmed person who's going to rebuild this squad. I think Dubstep could do really well at RRQ. I think that he's got great potential, and I think he could be a good fit if they are able to form a team around Zephyro, because I believe Zephyro's IGLing is really good. I think he's got great potential. I think he just needs a little bit more exploration with his coach and his coaching staff to allow him and allow his team to maybe find different ways of playing, maybe pick up a different play style. But yeah, so far that's what's happening around Secret and RRQ. I think these are players that they could pick up. Dubstep is a great pickup for any team in the Pacific, especially for RRQ, because they would look to get somebody from the Philippines who's an easy pickup for them, and also a great pickup. And on the other side, T1, they've kind of made all of their moves, already seen. They've picked up Excurate, they've got him. They were about to get Tix from the Australian region, who had played for God's Reign as well. But unfortunately, it seemed like that move's now kind of in the air, because Excurate, got a call from them. And of course, when T1 calls, you don't say no. And they've got the rest of the squad. Sayapea, Izu is still going to be there. Zeta is going to continue to IGL. He's absolutely wonderful. But who's going to be the fifth man of the squad? We're yet to find out, because Munchkin, Ban, Kape are all on the unlikely scenario of continuing with the side of T1. They could move to GenG, which is a very likely possibility. GenG could do really well with Munchkin, Ban, Kape and Intro, if at all they're picking up anyone from there, because their previous players are most likely to be heading towards either Team Secret. They could be players, you know, being picked up by Global Esports as well. I believe if you're looking at, you know, Godad or King, Sylvan doing really well, these guys could be picked up by, you know, Global Esports. These guys could be picked up by, you know, one of their players could obviously be picked up by Bleed as well, if at all the Aspas route doesn't work. RRQ is a good fit for them. There's a lot of changes that could be coming in. There's going to be a lot of mix-ups, but so far Pacific is looking absolutely chaotic. This is just the update on 11th of September as of recording this video, and I really hope that, you know, it all fits in right, because whilst there are some teams that are looking pretty solid, that's PaperX, Secret, DRX and you know, Bleed are going to be sticking to their roots. The rest of the teams are going through a full overhaul. It's not even like, you know, they're losing one, maybe two players and replacing them. It's completely getting changed, and I think this could be great for the teams who are going to be participating next year. This could be great for all the teams, because I believe the competition level is going to be rising. I don't believe there's going to be any team that's going to have, you know, too many losses like Detonation had last season. But overall, I think this has been a pretty great, you know, first season for the VCT, and the second one hopefully is going to be a lot better. And I'll see you guys in the next one.